What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So we're jumping in with some solo leveling Arise content today, so that way I can give you guys an overview of the Thomas Andre update. That's what we're just going to call it for the sake of this video. Anyways, let's jump right in. First thing I want to talk about, because she is on my screen, is our next character. So we can see here we've got this character, Shimizu Akari. So I'm likely to say this is going to be a Japanese hunter, asking for some heals. So she's definitely going to be a support character inside the game. So if you happen to be around the little shop hub area, you'll probably notice her in there, give you a good idea of who's basically coming to the game next. So some type of support healer, more than likely in, I don't even know what role that's going to be. We'll have to see. So everything comes at a price for her. So outside of that, we've got a number of updates. First, let's talk about the major one, which everybody's going to be excited about. He's here. Thomas Andre, light base character, attacker, is available now for draws. I've rolled almost all of my chips that I've had, and I've only gotten 3 versions of him. I was able to get some other stuff as well, but essentially looking at the character, working on leveling him up now, we can see that you're going to pretty much want to have Thomas sitting somewhere probably around stage, I don't know, A3, A5. So essentially all of his advancements prior to this is going to buff up his skills and his defenses. So and his ability to gain and acquire his shield effect. So you're going to want to basically look at that character overall from that perspective. Not a bad character in my opinion. I think that he looks good. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that he's here to upset the apple cart, which is the cha, meta that you have for light based characters. Andre is more than likely to outpace cha as the damage dealer for the light based characters. That's just the truth this is the truth of the matter. So we're likely to see him take that top position. Hard to say no, maybe not, because Cha essentially is like, they seem to love their female characters in this game, and she's at the top still. But I think Andre is probably going to upset the apple cart in some ways with regards to that. So don't forget, every time that we do get a new character, we also have the growth event that basically goes, I've already grown Thomas to get the top point rewards. Notice that inside the rewards, it's not just Thomas Andre's his weapon, it's also Gogun He's. So just be careful when you get that selection box, because you'll notice that Thomas Andre's is there. You can see increases defense by 4%, increases the shield acquisition by 6%. So don't forget that that's there. And then Gogun He's is also available for you to get. Now, I love Gogun. He's probably like one of my favorite characters in the game right now, besides, obviously our main character, but I love that character overall. There's also the lucky capsule events. So as you make those draws, you're going to increase your chances to basically acquire these items and get all the way up to, again, a Gogun He and Andre weapon selection chest. So be careful when you make those selections inside there. We'll get to that in a second, but let's jump back into Thomas Andre, take a look over at his skills. Andre is going to have quite a bit of skills inside of here. I think the guy is just going to be a pure... If Gogun He was an undying tank, I think that, for a breaker, I think that, Andre is going to be the same thing for the attackers. So you can see here his basic skills, nothing really to write home about. He deals some light damage, some knockdown, but you notice the main effect here is that when he gains a shield effect, you'll gain that shield effect and is equal to 2% of Thomas Andre's defense while using the skill. So he's going to have a little bit of a different build inside there. Now notice that when you get to his basic skills, we get absolute demolition, and you can see here the user gains a shield effect equal to 2% of Andre's defense while using this skill. Here you can see that it goes to Colossal Crush, and it's going to be gaining that same 2%. But then when you look at this kit overall, is when we get here to his special skill where we get Steel Armor. When the user gains a shield, it increases their crit hit rate and crit hit damage by 10%. Gain a shield equal to 10% of Thomas Andre's defense. So here we are. And then over here, we have his QTE skill, Volley Crash, Extreme Evasion, Core Attack, Ultimate skill. When the final hit lands, it knocks down the target. Next up, we get his ultimate skill, Ruler's Judgment. I love that they've encapsulated that within it. I don't want to spoil any of the story, you know, for anybody who's read the manga, you know where we're going with that. But we get Black Hole Crash. The user gathers the power of a black hole in their fists and strikes the ground, unleashing the gravitational pull, blah, blah, blah. But for every 1,000 shield effects applied to the user, the damage of Black Hole Crash increases by 2% to a max of 20%. When you get it and it expends all of their shields, it basically like becomes overwhelming power, and you get Steel Tyrant. The damage of Absolute Demolition and Colossal Crush increases by 100%. He's likely to be bonkers. Like in terms of damage and AoE type damage with the character, I think he's gonna be bonkers. Really good looking skill kit too on him. At least I thought they were really cool. Like, yeah, this looks amazing to me. I don't know why, but it just looks amazing to me. Now, over inside the shop, there is a costume. There is a costume pack for Andre. Why can I not find it now? I'm pretty terrible about this. There's a costume pack in here. Where is it? There's a costume pack in here, believe me, for Thomas that makes him look like the striker from Black Desert Online, in my opinion, or like, you know, Sun Jin Woo or something like that. Chao Shedong, if you've watched the God of High School, like it's in there. I don't know why I cannot find it right now. It just sucks. Oh, there it goes right there. Special costumes. There we are. So here he is. Thomas Andre is on top of the world costume, and he basically ends up looking like a yeah, he looks pretty badass inside of here. And the chroma effects, you know, that's entirely up to you if you're going to make that purchase. $21.99. You also gain some 10 of the custom draw tickets, the rate up tickets, excuse me. So it's there. Let's talk about really quickly some changes they made to our boy Sun Jin Woo as well. So inside of here for Sun Jin Woo, pay attention to his skills when you jump in, and you'll notice down on the bottom the QTE skills have been improved. So QTE skills now have effects like extinction, there's varying effects of this. I'll go into more depth inside a separate video about this because there's a lot to talk about. But his effects essentially have been updated as well for his QTE skills, which, you know, really, really nice in my opinion. I like some of the skill effects. They're really, really cool additives. Now I think the QTE skills will feel more powerful in terms of when we're using them and how we're timing to be using them. So kind of excited about that. So let's talk about some of the new content area now that they've added into the game. So if we go to the game modes, the first major one is going to be inside the story missions over here. So the reverse mode has had new chapters added to it. So if you go all the way over here to your hidden chapters, we've got a new chapter inside the game right there. So be happy about that. Hidden chapter 3 or 4 basically has been added that was added through 10 for the reverse. So the clear achievements and basically that stuff that's in there were done. Now, they also made a difficulty adjustment for the hard and reverse difficulty, where they've basically decreased the difficulty. That's like a balance adjustment that they did. So certain story missions, the achievement conditions as well, they've adjusted those. So for instance, like in some of the battle missions for certain stages where it's like equip certain hunters, equip certain shadows, or defeat the boss with a specific, they're being adjusted as well. I noticed when I was playing through and actually trying to accomplish these that I did notice that inside of there, they were, there was a change in terms of like, some of the required hunters just didn't make sense for what the element that they were there for. So they've kind of changed those. Also notice that they've changed the story chapter clear rewards. So they've been adjusted. So notice here that instead of getting 2 of the custom draw tickets, you get 5 of those. And then you get 2 for completing all the battle missions inside the stages. So that's really good overall. Now, some of this has been retroactive as well, that you've gotten these. So don't worry about that. They'll come to you. The other thing that they've added as well is the battle achievement rewards for the game. So as you're playing through, you'll notice that you're getting a number of battle rewards inside the shop. These are retroactive as well, whether you're playing hard mode or not. So the addition of battle achievement rewards is pretty nice. I like that overall. It's a really, really good thing that they've basically added into the game, in my opinion. Some people probably aren't going to like it, but it is what it is, I guess. Now, Outside of that, they also have made some changes to encore missions and the way those work. So now, instead of getting separate keys for encore and encore and instance missions, now you're just going to have one key, and that one key is basically tandem, so that way you can use it for however many of those that you want to. That's kind of good. Notice as well that we've got a new boss inside of here for instance dungeon, the twin ogre, inside of here. So yeah, he's still dropping the same rewards, things like that or whatever, but it's just a new boss. So, you know, kind of nice to be able to have something else in a rotation there. Not complaining about it at all. Inside encore mission, we also have a new boss inside here, Watcher of Brilliant Light, Luxus. Again, same rewards and the availability of those rewards for you to basically get them through tiers. So you can see here, and then you get all the way up to the last stage, and all the items that were available previously are still available for you in here. So nothing necessarily to complain about in regard about those. You know, basically play through the missions, have some fun with those, have some fun with some new bosses. But I like the fact that we're getting new content like that. Speaking of new content, right, we got to talk about the new content that they have, which is a simulation gate. So inside simulation gate, this is going to be a way for you to basically make your way inside like an adjustment parameter to get to a boss and basically accomplish things. Now, when you do those, you'll acquire these items from the simulation gate that allow you to exchange them. So you can see here, we can go inside the recording device and you'll be able to exchange those items specifically inside here for a number of items, basically like the hunter's weapons, the special weapon player design, the first edition of magic crafting. These are going to be important. We'll talk about that as well. There's a whole lot, like I said, inside this update. Core Ether, solidified stones, those things are important to your cores and stuff like that. These books are going to be important for you in other ways. Now, I like the idea of the effects amplifications that they basically have through the game. I remember playing One Punch Man, the newest game that they had, and this feels very similar to what One Punch Man had inside there with their simulation thing, and basically had a weekly like competition between players to do that. Now, I'll get into this separately in another video, but for now, just know that, you know, you're battling up tiers and stuff inside here. This is going to be something that you basically want to get to. So I like new content, and this is definitely going to be new content. So notice that these rewards are inside here, and you're going to get these rewards. The advanced simulation gate chest is going to basically give you either, you know, some essence stones, which nobody's going to complain about ever getting, right? Essence stones, or these dimensional discs. Those can be exchanged for those items, and then you have the ability to also get some gold as well. Now, as you go up in those tiers, you'll also notice this is a simulation gate chest too, so you can get some of the fusion crystal items and stuff like that in there. And then you can see that you can get these magic crafting logs as well. These are going to be important. We're going to talk about these in a second right here. So overall, it's new content, and you really just cannot be mad about new content, right? Like, bottom line, it's new content. That's a great thing. I like it anyway. So that's up to you whether you dislike it or don't like it. But I think it's a great thing for us to be basically getting content. Now, coming back over to gates over here, I want you to notice that they have changed the rewards, or the number of times that you need. So instead of 15, it's just now 10. And notice that the gate missions, they've improved the rewards inside the gate missions. So here we can look at an S rank mission for Sun Jin Woo. And when you look at the reward pool here, you'll notice there's a difference in terms of the rewards. So this is a good thing in my opinion, and it basically gives you a good shout as to what it is that you're hunting for inside of you. So it doesn't make it necessarily like that you have to be hunting S rank gates now, because maybe you need items to enhance. And so for that, you might want to go play some of the blue items, so that way you get the chance at some of those chips and kits there, instead of having access to the S ranks, which are going to get you fusion and then maybe some growth level up support. So it gives you a way to diversify essentially inside there, and I don't mind it at all. It's good. Less time inside these gate missions, more time playing other components of the game. No complaints on my end. Now, next up, what I want to talk to you about is the new artifact enhancement system inside the game. So basically what they have done is they've added the enhancements. So like, for instance, I'll pull up this Isla, right? So essentially, it's still not what I wanted for the enhancement, because what I wanted was a way to change substats. But instead, they've added a system in here very akin to like Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross, for instance. So for instance, first I have to be able to get the perfect roll on a piece of gear that I want for a character, and that in and of itself is hard as hell anyways, right? So when you look at this, you can now go inside here, you can do both. You can do your normal enhancements to get those, and then if you happen to get the very perfect roll, you can then go to enchant gear. So you can see here, defense penetration, additional defense, attack, and additional HP are all available to me. What I can then do is select enhancement materials from the left or right. So you can see these, and they're in stages 1, 2, 3, and then the top tier stage. So that way I get a percentage towards increasing that overall effect inside the game. So now you're going to have to hunt these things down in order to get them. Select these materials once you get them from their substats and their game modes, and that'll basically increase and ramp up your abilities on your artifacts. Now, what I was really hoping for was an additional system inside of here to basically re-roll the sub effect stats, or maybe even have the ability to individually re-roll. Trust me, it's coming. It's typical Netmarble. If you've played other games, I don't really like the notion that they've said, well, it's hard. I get that they're different game systems and stuff, but they have it in writ large in a number of their other games where they just rolled it out in this way, in this format, so that way they can generate money by basically doing it and then introduce that system later on. Because if you go look at like Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross or something like that, I have the ability to re-roll a substat and then or enhance and enchant those substats inside. So I don't know why they said that inside one of the developer notes. It kind of made me upset and a little mad, to be perfectly honest, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? So anyways, let's round out with taking a look at the newest weapon to Sung Jin Woo's arsenal, the Divine Quarterstaff. So this item is now available in the shop. We'll take a look at some of the advancements. So you can see here, when you use Heavenly Order Strike while having 3 instances of mana power concentration, creates a giant Divine Quarterstaff that deals damage equal to 800% of the user attack. So that increases the light damage by 10. You can see going over here to stage 3, it can be charged up to stage 5. And when each stage is charged, it activates the instance of mana power. So when we get that, a shield effect becomes active while the charging is taking place. So you're protected. So invincibility on a scale, basically. So you'll gain a shield equal to 50% of the user's max HP. After the effect of the Heavenly Order Strike is finished, the charging effect is removed. At stage 4 inside of here, it decreases the cooldown by 20%, and then at stage 5 here, basically the damage of Divine Quarterstaff drop effect is increased by 150%. So I think this is going to be overall a nice little kit skill for the character. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. You can see the charging. It's a nice another light weapon, to be perfectly honest. This weapon, the Huntsman, was very lackluster. I'm not even a huge fan of the Truth Demon's Night Spear, but it is what it is. In terms of light weapons, those are what we have right now. So having an additional one inside there isn't going to necessarily hurt anything, especially if this is stronger. Not to mention, it looks pretty cool, especially with the visual effect on it. I'm not mad about this at all. So take a look at it, you know, see what it is that you like. Now, pay attention as well that there are some, Jesus, where are they? There are some new events that are basically going on. Why can I not find them? I get tongue-tied on these every single time. We do have check-in events that are basically going on, and that's what I want to show you. So pay attention to the check-in events, because with the check-in events, we're going to be able to get some weapons and things like that from so not Sale, what is his name? Goddamn, why can I think about this dude's name? Wu Jinchul is going to be available for you to acquire along with his weapon inside of there. I cannot find my weekly check-ins for some reason. I'm drawing a blank right now. Essentially, there we go. So the winter check-in event, you can see here, we're going to get some of the weapon designs along with some, blessing stones and rune stones as well. The 14-day check-in includes Wu Jinchul, his weapon, and a costume for Sung Jin Woo. And then 28-day check-in is the normal as it is. So I know that was a whole lot for this video to talk about stuff inside of here. It's getting kind of long in here, so I want to kind of cut it at this point. But what I do want to point out as well is that there's a number of Black Friday events going inside the shop as well. There's a number of specials and things like that going on for Cyber Week. Specifically, I would say to you, they have like the same type of typical Netmarble commemorative coin type events going on for when you purchase things. One of the things I've pointed out before is the dollar to value ratio inside this game, to basically look at where we are. To be honest with you, this is definitely one of Netmarble's more free-to-play friendly type games, and a lot of the rewards inside the shop typically fall within that void of being worth your dollar to in-game currency type value. I've not had any problems with their shop. And like I said, the game overall is very free to play friendly. So, you know, take a look at that overall. I'm thankful they've added in these step up event things, so that way you can specifically see as well what's going on inside there. But if you were to look at the exchange shop, these are the items that are available for you in the exchange shop if you wanted to make any purchases during the Black Friday sale and get at them. There's 3 of them specifically I think most players are going to want to get after, and that's the Dark Wind Hunter selection. So if you have these characters, then take a look at those. But what this is going to cost you is probably about $80 in actual currency, US currency, in order to get that 160 coins inside there. Just pay attention to that overall. Also, notice that the theme for some of the missions, basically, they've changed a lot of the events inside of here. I'm going to go into more depth in a different video, but I was really happy about the bonus event change that they've made here. So notice that at stage 10, 20, 30, that it's a selection reward for this time. That's because you're going to be able to choose between Charlotte and Harper for the rewards here. Now, I've managed to go around having to use a dark base team, but I have been building them up passively in the background in order to get those items anyways. But if you're looking at getting these items, those 2 characters, because you want to beef up your dark cast of team, then they're available to you there. So that's everything that's going on inside the update. As much of an overview as I can give you, I will be breaking down this update with more detail overall as over the course of the week. So enjoy your Thanksgiving. Until next time, guys. Peace.